So my previous mindset when it comes to girls was like truly fucked up when I think about it now. And I've recently discovered this. Like I've very recently changed my whole perception and mindset about dating, girls, and even though I did all the self-improvement things, meditating, making new friends, and making sure my social skills improved, I was still like indulging in all this like red pill content. And even those self-improvement gurus like Hamza and like there are some others, they promote red pill content. They promoted hookup culture, and therefore I indulged in them. I was like watching stupid podcasts like Fresh and Fit, like how to get as many girls as possible. So my mindset was like, okay, get as many girls as possible because then you will be successful. Have as many sexes with as many girls as possible because then you will be successful. Like that was my fucking mindset. And I would argue that that's the mindset of so many young men these days. So many young men who aren't on self-improvement. And I'm so happy and grateful that there are at least some YouTubers now who are saying things like, okay, red pill content is like fucked up. You shouldn't watch that shit. So let me explain to you. Your chances of actually finding a girlfriend in the next year or so are actually quite high. So let's dive into it. So why chasing sex is degenerate? And let me explain to you why. Because you don't want to end up like this little schmeagle here. And I would say like 90% of people, 90% of men are like this schmeagle, always like chasing sex. And I was a fucking schmeagle as well, jerking off 2 times a day. So my main goal in the early days would be like, I'm saying early days here, but this was like 2-3 months ago. So my main goal would be like having as much sex with as much women as possible, as quickly as possible. Like that would be my main goal of going on a date. I would go on a date with a girl and my main thoughts would be like, okay, how do I get this girl in my bed? I want to see her naked, like a fucking little schmeagle, like a fucking coomer. And let me explain, it is still instant gratification because you're still looking for some, gratification. You want sex now. You want some quick hookup now, and you're still a fucking coomer. You're still basically masturbating. You're not masturbating on your own, but you're masturbating with a girl, with her, vagina. But it's still the same. So you're basically looking for some quick instant gratification. And I used to watch a lot of red pill content. Like, okay, how do I attract that girl? How do I attract, as much girls as possible? And I would watch like podcasts like Fresh and Fit. I would watch all Hamza's old videos just to teach myself how to attract like quick hookups. And you have to remember here, those girls you are attracting in quick hookups are not basically long-term relationship partners, because girls who do quick hookups don't want serious relationship. And you are basically teaching yourself to basically attract degenerate women, because women who have a lot of sex are fucking degenerate. And the only skills you are gonna learn with watching red pill content is basically attracting degenerate women, attracting women who wanna enjoy a quick hookup, because you have to see. You maybe you're watching Fresh and Fit, just see how they talk about women, like just see how they treat them like fucking sexual objects, and you're teaching yourself to be basically degenerate. And when you watch red pill content, you're basically keeping up a facade of being some high value man, like being high status, high value, but you're not. You're not a high value man. You're probably a bit of a loser. I can't even say I'm a high value man, and that I don't want to act like one. So why act like a high value man when you meet a girl when you are not? Why? Do you truly think you can keep up this facade for months and months at a time? Because let's say you are going on a date with that girl. You keep up this like a high value man status thing. And you attract her, you get her into bed, she becomes your girlfriend, and now you have to keep up this facade of being a high value man, otherwise she will like see who you really are and break up, because she is attracted to a high value man. She's attracted to that like high status guy who you are making out to be, but you're actually like not. And when she finds out that you are not that guy who you promised to be, she will break up with you. I think it's like logic, right? So yeah. And I think also when you like indulge in red pill and indulge in hookup culture, you will actually destroy your ability to bond with real women. And let me explain to you why. Because maybe you've all seen those statistics of like, okay, so if a girl has 1 or 0 bed partners before you, the chances of you, when you are marrying, right? The chances of you getting a divorce are like only 7%. Like the chances of your marriage succeeding is pretty high. So when the amount of bed partners she has like actually rises above 7, the chances of your marriage succeeding is only 50%. So the chances of your marriage like failing highly increases with her amount of bed partners. And I would actually say this is the same with your success in a relationship. Like, why would it only be your success in marriage? I think that if a woman has more bed partners, that the chances of your relationship succeeding actually declining. So the more bed partners she has, the less chance there is that your relationship will be successful. And I think this is a very, very good point. And why would this even be only for women? Like, why your ability to bond? Like, I think her ability to bond like really declines after the amount of bed partners she has. But why would this only be for girls? I think this will be for men as well. Like, if you hook up with more girls, your ability to bond with one is declining. So I think with girls it's maybe a bit more like serious, because they are very, very emotional, and men are basically meant to spread their seed. But I think still your ability to bond with a girl declines after you have had a certain amount of bed partners. So I have had 10 bed partners in the past, and I used to be very proud of it, and now I'm not. Like, I actually feel ashamed of it, because my ability to bond with girls declines. So let's talk about my previous mindset, because my previous mindset was really fucked up. And I think, yeah, it was one of the main reasons why I didn't get a lot of success in dating and like building serious relationships. So my previous mindset is I was pretty proud of my body count. You know, I had 10 bed partners, and I remember that a lot of my friends at the time didn't have 10 bed partners. They might have like had 1 or 2 or 3, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm the man, because I have 10 bed partners. I managed to get 10 girls into bed. Like a fucking degenerate, you know. And like I told you, now I'm ashamed of it, because I know that it will decline my ability to bond with a real girl. So another great example was holiday. So whenever I went on holiday, my main focus would be to find some girl to have sex with, because girls on holiday are much easier, because they are in another environment, and they can basically like play like a little hoe. They can basically like play like a little hoe, and nobody is gonna like chase after them. Nobody's gonna know their story, because they're on holiday, right? So they can do whatever they want, and this works. This works. Girls on holiday are much easier than when they're at home. And I knew this, the girls know this. So you hook up on holiday. That's what you do. It's very easy. And my main focus on holiday would be to hook up with some girl. And oftentimes it succeeded actually. But I had some times where it didn't succeed, and where my holiday I would be highly disappointed because of this. And I would remember like sitting the last few days of my holiday only thinking about, sex, because I needed it, and otherwise my holiday was a whole failure. And yeah, it basically like threw me out of I was with friends, and instead of being in a moment, I was only thinking about like getting some hookup, like some cheap ass fucking hookup, which wasn't gonna last anyway, like a degenerate, yeah. And I could say that I like partly ruined my holiday because of it. I partly ruined the relationship with my friends because of it. Because I was constantly thinking about that instead of like being in a moment with them, I was constantly saying, oh yeah guys, let's go to this bar because maybe we can hook up with some girl, and let's download Tinder Gold. We have more chances. And I actually did this. We actually bought Tinder Gold. Had some success, but... And I always felt the need to have sex. Also when I came home, I was like, okay, if I don't have sex like at least 2 or 3 times a year, I'm a huge failure. So I would always think about it. Whenever I went on a date, whenever I met some girl, I would always think about, okay, yeah, I need to have sex because otherwise I'm not that successful. And yeah, I need to have sex at least 2 or 3 times a year because it was like a huge string on my mind. Like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. Fucking bullshit. So, and yeah, I was highly participating in hookup culture because hookup culture is normal, right? It's good to be promiscuous, especially as a man, because if you don't have sex, you're a loser. You need to have as much sex as possible because if you do that, you're the man. If you have as much sex as possible, you are the man. These days, fucking retarded. And if you are a woman and have a lot of sex, are promiscuous, then you are empowered. You know, you're a strong woman. And I think hookup culture is highly propagated, in our schools, by our media, everywhere, that like it's normal to enjoy hookup culture. It's normal to have a lot of sexual partners. And I think this is one of the ways our government is trying to destroy the family, because you have to remember, when a girl enjoys a lot of bed partners, her ability to actually start a real family and stay with her family and have kids, a successful relationship, marriage, fucking declines. And what happens when the average girl today who has a body count of like plus 20 actually gets into a marriage? I think the chances of her succeeding are like 20%. And it's not just this culture of like hookup culture. It's almost also things like porn, which are actually destroying your ability to like find a real relationship. And your whole perception of, women are actually declining because of porn. You watch these like hardcore porn things on like X-Hamster and Pornhub. And I used to do it as well a lot. And my whole perception of it became distorted. My whole perception of women became distorted because of porn. I was always, when I met a girl, I was always thinking about sex. I was always like, oh, would she be into that? I was always, I just saw some, I just jerked off, I just watched some porn, and 1 hour later I would meet a girl. And I would think about that thing I saw in my porn video, like, oh, would she, when I get her into bed, would she be into that? Like, fucking degenerate. And my whole perception was about sex because of porn. The reason I always thought about sex was because of fucking porn. And now I'm so angry about it. Like, so angry that like, porn is normal. When you actually Google it, people say, like, porn is normal. It's normal to watch porn. It can actually help you masturbate and decrease prostate cancer. Like, fucking degenerate. Like, pathetic, And, fapping, also one of those things which the government is telling you that it's quite normal to actually, like, jerk off every day. I used to jerk off at some point, like, back in the days, it was only 1 time, but then I did it sometimes, even 2 times. And after a while, it got to 2 times every day. I did it 2 times every day. Fucking destroying my testosterone and chances of actually finding a girlfriend, because I was fapping every day. I was only thinking about sex. I was fapping, watching porn. I was only thinking about sex because of those things. Now I no longer do these things, I'm a highly skilled no fapper. 8 weeks, that's my maximum, actually. I know I wasn't supposed to count, but I counted anyway. So I think most guys are like this. Most guys fap at least 1 time a day. They watch porn, they enjoy hookup culture, they destroy themselves, they destroy their chances of actually finding a fucking girlfriend or a serious relationship or even marrying, because they've enjoyed hookup culture. And I have like 10 hookups, but I know that's not the average. I know the average of the average of bed partners of people who live where I live is around 30, I think, or around 50, because I live in a city, it's a student city, and hookup culture is like big here, everybody hooks up. And this whole mindset like I told you, ruined my chances with women. Like, totally ruined it. I was indulging in porn, fapping, like hookup culture, red pill. I would only think about, hooking up with as many girls as possible. And I saw women as sex objects, like pure sex objects. I remember hearing this phrase, seeing women as sex objects, and I thought like, yeah, I don't do this. I will actually have sex with them, and then maybe they can be my girlfriend. So I'm not seeing them as sex objects. And I remember like reflecting on this, and I saw them as sex objects. And I know this now because my mindset has shifted. But before, I didn't knew this. I was like, oh, yeah, fucking bullshit. I don't see them as sex objects, but I did. So, and you might do the same right now, and you don't even realize it because you don't know. You haven't made this mindset shift. You haven't made this shift, and it takes some time to go through these shifts. So this was my mindset, and therefore I was like talking and thinking and acting in a certain way whenever I met girls. So whenever I went on a date, I would think about sex. I would, talk in a certain way. And do you think that the girls might pick up on that? Do you think, like, answer this right now. Do you think the girls would pick up on that? Just the fact that I was constantly thinking about sex. Of course they would, Of course. They would instantly see that I was a guy who was only looking for a quick hookup. And even though I was, ready to, I was open to a relationship, after I had the sex. Even though I was open to it. Those girls would think like, okay, he's only looking for sex, so therefore I don't want to have anything to do with this guy unless I'm a fucking degenerate woman who also wants sex. So I was basically, because of that, I was only attracting girls who were participating in hookup culture. And I would even say that 9 out of 10 girls I've dated were like degenerate girls who are only participating in hookup culture, only want as much dicks as possible. So I did want a girlfriend. I did. But I was attracting the wrong kind of girls because of my mindset and attitude and the way I talked, the way I think. And I had no standards. No standards. I was like so happy that I finally got a girl, That I was like accepting everything. And I was dating all these degenerate women. I had sex with like 10 girls. And I remember them like breaking up with me, after like 1 or 2 times, and I would feel so inferior. Like, why can't I make it work? Why can't I make it work with at least one of those fucking girls, And I would remember like being so hard on myself because of this, but I didn't knew that these were degenerate women. I do know now that part of the reason I wasn't successful was because they were only looking for a quick hookup. They were only looking for 1 or 2 times sex. So I think like only one of those girls was actually like good relationship material, which I fucked up, which I dated for 5 months. And yeah, I was a beta at that time, so I didn't knew all this. I didn't knew all that knowledge that I know now. So sex and fun was my number 1 priority. Whenever I met a girl, whenever I went on a date, like, okay, first sex, let's see if it's like funny, and then maybe we could get into a relationship, instead of like being fucking serious with her. So and therefore I attracted only degenerate women. And at this moment, my mindset has truly shifted. Like, I'm no longer into that red pill bullshit of attracting as many women as possible, like quick hookups. And I no longer watch porn. I no longer like fap, or at least not that much like I used to do. Like, at least I try to leave at least like a few weeks in between now. So I'm so grateful for the fact that my mindset has shifted. And my way of thinking, my way of talking to women, my way of seeing women has changed, and I'm so happy about it. So let me explain. So whenever I see a girl, it used to be only like, oh, that's a nice girl. Oh, look at her booty. Like, would she be into sex? Could I get her into my bed? And at the moment when I see a girl, I just think about the possibility of being into a relationship with her. Like, could this be a good woman for me? And I'm so happy about it, I'm actually thinking about building a relationship with her. And whenever I actually talk to a girl, I only think about building, like, getting into a close connection with her, actually building up some meaningful relationship instead of like just having sex and building a meaningless relationship with her. And this is also very interesting. So whenever I see like a family in the park, I used to think nothing of it. But whenever I see a family in the park, father, mother, a few happy kids walking around them, I think about, well, I actually kind of want that. Like, and could I meet the woman of my children soon? Well, would this be the woman of my children? And that's why, so I get these happy feelings, of, okay, it's time. It's time for me to actually start building a family and actually like find a good woman, because I'm 25 now. And I think my body is like telling me that it's time to get fucking serious right now. So my current goal when it comes to girls is actually finding a good girl where I can find a meaningful relationship with, where I can build a meaningful relationship with, and actually like finding the woman of my children. Like it's kind of serious, but I do have standards. I do have certain standards. Like, I have high standards, right? And I'm not gonna go into full detail about those standards, but I'm not just accepting any woman, of course. So I'm just looking for a serious relationship right now. And I'm not even thinking about sex anymore. And I'm so happy about this, because not thinking about sex has like some kind of like liberating feeling to it. Because whenever I go, I just recently went to Austria. I biked to Austria and I wasn't even thinking about sex. And whenever I'm on my grind right now, right? I'm constantly working, constantly doing my purpose, working on my purpose. And I'm not even thinking about sex anymore. I'm not even like, oh, I need to have sex at least 3 times this year because otherwise I'm not successful. I'm more like, I don't need to have sex. Especially, I don't want to have sex. Like, when I meet a girl right now, I am not gonna have sex. When I'm gonna date a girl, I'm not gonna have sex for the first couple of weeks, for the first couple of dates. Like, I think like at least 8 weeks. And when a girl is like, oh, I wanna have sex now, I'm just gonna be like, no. If you want sex now, just go enjoy hookup culture, because I'm not like that. I don't give sex to every girl. And it's so, liberating, this feeling like, okay, I don't want to have sex, instead of I need to have sex right now, like a little coomer, I need to have some stinky hole right now, which has been fucked already this week by other dudes. I think you will truly find a girl soon, especially when you have like fully adapted this mindset. So let me explain. So I am no relationship expert. You might have been watching like Hamza's videos, and I know Hamza has a lot of relationships in the past, and therefore he had a lot of like good experiences. I think I'm at the same level as you. Maybe you are even further than me, because I had some like quick hookups, I had sex with 10 different girls, oh my god. But I haven't had a single serious relationship in my life. Of course, I dated a girl for a few months. Of course, I had some like a relationship when I was like 16, but that's like nothing like really serious. I've had a small relationships for a few weeks, for a few months in the past, but nothing truly serious, where you truly build a close connection with somebody. So if you're feeling like very lonely, don't have a girlfriend right now, don't worry, because I'm at the same level as you guys. So I'm going through the same thing, and I truly want like a proper girlfriend. So yeah, we go through the same thing here. So chances are, like, if you've been changing your mindset like I have, you're gonna find a girlfriend very soon. So let me explain. Like, if you have like quit, if you've done NoFap, you know, if you've quit porn, if you no longer want to engage in hookup culture, if you no longer watch these loser red pill YouTubers, chances are you are close to changing your mindset, or you have already changed your mindset. You no longer want to have like meaningless sex with like meaningless persons. You've worked on yourself, you know, you have been on self-improvement for a while now. You have started meditating, started journaling, started reading, started educating yourself, you know, and even started like building on yourself to increase your ability to make friends, you know, increase your social skills. That's a very important one. Maybe you've even done some cold approaching, which is like fucking scary. And I have done some cold approaching as well in the past few months. So before I didn't really do it, but since like 3 months I've started doing it. Like whenever I was in the gym and when there was like a girl next to me, I would like just like sometimes I would just talk to her, and I would even like sometimes ask her number, even though it wasn't always successful. And I've done one proper cold approach lately. Like it was like a full cold approach. She was like laying on the beach and I was just walking up to her from a distance. And we didn't even have contact. We didn't even have eye contact before. So I'm like quite proud of that. And the conversation went well. She ended up being 36 years old, so a bit too old for me. Like I already told this story, but I'm still pretty proud of it. Like I'm doing these things, you know, I'm getting myself out there. And one of these times it's going to be successful. One of these cold approaches is going to be fucking successful. You know, keep trying, brothers. Keep trying. We are no fucking losers. We are Spartans, you know. So chances are, if you've been working on yourself, you know, if you have adapted this mindset shift, if you've worked on yourself, your self-improvement as a man, you are gonna find a girl very, very soon. One of these times it's gonna be successful, believe me. Because I haven't really had any girlfriend since I started self-improvement. And I've started self-improvement for around about 9 months now. I've started self-improvement for 9 months and I haven't met any girl since that time. Just remind yourself of the value you can actually provide her, the amount you have built it yourself, you know, and the value you can actually provide her because you have worked on yourself that much. Like I can't even imagine what a relationship with a girl would be like now, you know. I think my chances of actually finding a successful relationship right now are much higher than like 6 months, not like a year ago, you know, when I didn't do any self-improvement stuff and I was checking off 2 times a day, you know. So we will be successful soon. The chances of like the chances of you like not being successful in the next year are like small. Especially when you've worked on yourself, especially when you do all these good things, adapted this mindset shift. And you have to remember, you are 10 times better than the average goomer around you. Because most of these fucking noobs are fapping every day. They are watching porn. They are enjoying hookup culture. They are destroying their ability to actually bond with a girl. They don't want to bond with a girl because they just want some fucking quick hookup. So I think that, yeah, you are 10 times better than those losers. And therefore your chances of actually finding a successful relationship are much, much higher. And you will find that, you know, tread wife soon, you know. And remember guys, don't date degenerate women. If they have more than 5 bed partners, dump their asses because you don't want to date them. They are just there for hookup culture. And even if you started dating them, even if you get into a relationship with them, the chances of your relationship being successful is like very, very small. So that's it for this, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you change your mindset about like dating and hookup culture a bit. So that's it for this, guys. Okay, Spartans, prepare for glory.